Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Nick from MMA Pixels here with Tunde Arigbon. 5-0 amateur, had a big victory, a 3-second KO against Matt Russo last June 9th. How you doing, Tunde?
I'm doing well. How you doing, Nick?
I'm doing great, man. I appreciate you taking the time out of training. You just had that fight this past weekend. Have you even got back to the gym yet?
Actually, no, I haven't been in the gym, but I was planning on going tomorrow, just to get back into the mentally, today was just, I actually had work today and having this press conference interview with you, so yeah, I'll be back ready to train as soon as tomorrow hits and get back on the grind, really.
So I take it no injuries then from the
No,
3 seconds?
no injuries. Didn't have time to get injured at all, so that's always good.
So can you walk us through the KO?
Oh wow. Well, yeah. I guess it all starts with his body language, his posture, and where I could find an opening. And usually, you can find an opening right out the gate. A person's really vulnerable out the gate because you don't know what's going to happen. And closing the distance was one thing I knew that I had to do, getting to get a 3-second knockout. You don't just get a 3-second knockout. So, and the MMA cage, you can imagine how big or small they are, but it's still not enough time to close the distance to where you could get engaged. But like I said, his body language said it all. And I found an opening and I just went for it. And it only took me one nice good step and then 2 steps, pretty much. A step to close the distance and then a step to engage contact. And then I watched him drop. There was no need to add insult to injury from that point. But yeah, like I said, he had his nice chin up, and I just went and aimed for it. And that was a gift, definitely a gift that I thought I saw it literally right when we were walking back from touching gloves. And I was like, all right, we got to get at him and get at him hard. If this doesn't work, we have more tricks up our sleeves that we can use. But I'm glad it worked for it being in 3 seconds. Yeah.
Yeah, right. So you're 5-0. You just had the KO. How many finishes do you have on your record?
That is my 4th TKO. I've only had 1 decision, and that was my last fight in March. That wasn't one of my fights in March yet.
They usually first round, or do they go a little bit longer?
Actually, this was my first round victory at all. I went to distance. My fight I had in March went to distance. My very first fight, I won in the 3rd round, and I've won 2 in the 2nd round.
And so this being your 5th fight, how was training camp?
Training camp went pretty well. It went pretty well for me. I focused a lot on grappling for some reason. I felt like my striking is always going to be there, but that was one thing that I wanted to really stay focused on, grappling and my cardio. I know that if I can beat a man with my talent and ability, but if I can't keep the gas tank going, then I'm going to end up getting beat. So those are the 2 things that I really focused on in this camp was my grappling and my cardio, and my diet wasn't so bad. I'm used to making these kind of adjustments, so that went pretty well. But I didn't really go too hardcore for this fight, and being happy throughout the whole wave of getting ready for the fight. That was what really set me good. But like I said, my grappling and my cardio was one of the most important things going into this fight.
Do you work with someone like as far as a dietitian or anything, nutritionist?
I actually don't right now. I usually just get Google information, or I just go off based off what I eat, and a lot of advices from other people or like social media things, but I don't really have a direct dietitian that I actually talk to as far as what is good for me. And I usually just try to stick to natural goods, food from the earth. I don't really do prescription meds, or I don't touch any of those pharmaceuticals. You won't see me in GNC or anything like that. So I don't drink energy drinks really. I'm usually I want to keep it all natural. I see all the best fighters and guys I look up to. I try to keep it natural. If my body can't take it, I guess I should just, find another result to healing and recovering from certain fights. So yeah, no dietitian. I did it all myself, man. I'm just out here grinding. I take notes on a lot of things, and I take it and I try to perfect it, until an opportunity comes to where I get to a level where I'm able to afford a dietitian or a health coach. That would be really good, But right now, it's just going from what I know.
Do you think that's like a hindrance or an advantage, not using like supplements or anything? Obviously, it's a choice, but
yeah, obviously it's a choice. When I first started, I was an illusion of like, okay, when you start working out, you get a diet supplement, you get the supplements, but like naturally I'm like athletically built, and I felt like when I did use I felt bloated. I felt like just a bunch of water weight in me, and I didn't feel a natural movement in my body, and I felt heavy, and I was sweating a lot more. So I had to start cutting it out, and like I had some weird reaction to another one that I used. So, and most of it you don't know what's the real ingredients behind these, things. So that's one thing I try to not mess with, and just like I said, natural from the earth, So like kale, spinach, carrots. My diet was pretty much a lot of vegetables going into this fight. Yeah, I think it's more of an advantage because you're more aware of what you're taking in when you're sitting down, breaking it down and mixing it up versus saying, hey, this is what's in here. This is what's in here. Or if I need iron, I don't want to get it from a supplement. I want to get it from spinach or other vegetables or fruits or vegetables that has iron that I could retain versus using a powdered formula that I don't know. So I feel like I do have an advantage, and it's like my body can talk to me more versus just being bloated and not knowing if it's water weight or if it's just actual muscle or whatever it's in there, creatine, all that stuff. So I'm trying to look at that.
You mentioned improving your cardio. I know a lot of guys like to get right back into training camp and have fights back to back, real close. They say that it improves their cardio. Do you feel that same way? Are you looking to get back in the cage quickly to maintain that cardio? Or?
I feel like you have the rush still more than anything to keep wanting to go. But I feel like going back and just improving and getting better is always good, because, you never know who the next guy is. So I'm glad I've taken a lot more time to train, to perfect my skills and increase my ability to perform, and just give myself more time, to get back to my personal life and, get myself mentally correct, because the training camp for me is like 2 months in, Like if I'm fighting in September, I'm starting in August, late July, August, getting ready for that. So I just getting mentally back in order and making time. And then, then getting back in the process of fighting, that's always good for me. I actually have a hard time getting fights. So that's another problem I usually deal with. So I usually have setbacks to where I get a fight and then something happens and, I kind of, don't get a fight, but I still keep that drive. I still continue to train hard and stay consistent because I know I might get a phone call and I don't be out of shape, relaxing too much or anything like that. So I stay consistent, but I'm not like, hey, I want to fight right now. You know what I mean? I'm not really determined for that because I see growth, in every fight. And I just want to have time to really, clear my mind out and then go to another fight. So unless it's a Grand Prix. Now, if it's a Grand Prix, I'm pretty mentally, and I say to mind, like, all right, cool, I'm going to be fighting this many fights in this many days. But, like, I would like to keep calm and, right after a big fight,
Have you done that before? Like the tournament or?
No, I haven't. But I would love to do one. That would be really cool.
Like a couple fights in a night? What, like 3 fights in a night? Would you do that?
Yeah, if I can get them all out in 3 seconds, that would be really nice.
Yeah, you might need it, man.
Yeah.
So, did you have a lot of friends and family come out to the fight?
Yes. I live out here in Portland, Oregon, so I went to school out here, and with social media and people watching my growth, and the guy that I am, I feel like people really support me, and are there, and like they're cheering for me. I can hear them the whole time. So I feel like half of that event, everybody was there for me. You know what I mean? I feel like everybody's there for me. So, and that's my motivation to like get all that energy to go out there and perform at the highest level.
I know you said you like to digress, think about the fight, and then you said you had some improvements and stuff. But like I said, you're 5-0 as an amateur. When do we start thinking about turning pro?
I've been thinking about that even before this fight. I was thinking about that when I was 3-0. Just because I guess I wouldn't say distractions, but I see, how the transition goes, and like people jump in too early or people jump in too late. It's kind of like college, people get into it not knowing what they want out of it, and they go in there and then they're stuck with this, and then they're not successful. So it's just like, I feel like I've gotten a lot of growth out of this, in the past 6 years that I've been training, to where I can just go into a fight as an amateur with the pro mindset and dominate. So, I think that's when things I would have to sit down and talk to my management about transitioning, because I know I'll be a successful fighter as a pro, and I wouldn't have to really deal with the politics that much, because I know I'll get a fight guaranteed unless certain things happen. But I feel like when there's money involved, to be honest with you, when there's money involved, no one's really going to play around and wait and waste their time, because it's like, I put a lot of time in, getting days. My job's really flexible, so getting days off of work to get ready for this fight, and like getting mentally in that stage, where I'm telling my friends and family, and that, hey, this is what I got to focus on right now, and I'm giving these 2 months to really prepare, and then have somebody like look at me and not look at me as a fighter, but look at me as like an animal, and be like, oh shoot, I don't want to mess with this guy, and then and that kind of messes up the preparation for a fight, because it's like, oh shoot, and then there's this, like, of course there's no money involved in amateurs, so people are quick to just be like, all right, cool, well, I'll just stay home and play video games Saturday night versus going and fight him, and I've had it happen plenty of times, so it's nothing I can control, but I don't let it get to me. I just know, all right, cool, well, that guy shouldn't have been in the cage with me in the first place. So, but I do want to fight people who will, and experience, getting that experience, and I know I do really well.
So, where are you training at? What gym?
I train at Portland Thai Boxing in Portland, Oregon. One of the top gyms, schools in Portland, Oregon.
Who's some of your training partners?
Jeremy Burford, he's actually just signed as a pro. He has his first fight at King of the Cage. Alex Aguilar, he was the FCFF champion, 175 champion. I don't know what his plans are, but I hope he goes pro as well. Brandon Burdock, like that's his last name. He's one of our Muay Thai like badass guys. Nate Corey comes to our gyms and trains with my coach Arjan Jeremy Weiner and my wrestling coach Stick Dog Coach Eddie. So I've had a lot of good coaching staff from the Muay Thai Academy in America and Eric Paulson Combat Submission Wrestling as well. So it's really, I feel like with the Thai affiliation, we're not looked as an intimidating gym. We're not like a really like badass gym. We're more like a temple. You feel me? So it's more like a temple. So people don't really know what to expect when we come out there. You know what I mean? Because it's like I feel like I see it more as a temple than a gym, because when you go into a place of worship, you're more calm. You know what I mean? You're more calm. You're soaking up, you know, the knowledge in what you're gaining, you know, from your professor. You know, so and that's how I feel like when I'm in there, and that's the difference between a gym when there's just like a lot of, you know, energy, you know what I mean? So it's just like I'd rather bring that energy to the fight, you know what I'm saying? Not saying we don't bring that energy in there, but it's controlled energy, and energy that which we all are like we can control and bring it out when we need to, you know. So
is that something since day one for you, or is that something you've learned over time?
Man, that's something that I've learned. It just became with discipline. I feel like when people get into this mixed martial arts, you know, they learn. That's one thing they learn, you know, from the first day, because you go in there thinking you're gonna punch a bag, and then when you see how it gets broken down, you're like, whoa, this shit is interesting, and then you kind of respect it more, because then it becomes, like I said, a place of worship for you. You know what I mean? You know, so it's just like repenting, you know, like when you want to repent for something that you did and you get exposed and you're just like, oh shoot, you know, this is how it is. And then you kind of like bring yourself back into it. And I've seen and I say that because I've seen a lot of growth and a lot of change in people's lives when the minute they walk in the gym, you know what I mean? It's just like walking into a church or something like that and repenting. You know, you walk up in their gym, like, I'm not satisfied with my lifestyle. I'm not satisfied with my looks. You know what I mean? You're going in the gym repenting, and you want to be saved. And usually people usually leave saved. So yeah, and that's how I feel about my gym, Portland Thai Boxing, Portland, Oregon.
And where can the fans connect with you on social media?
I have Instagram page. My fight name is Lion Machine. It's all one word. Lion Machine _King, which is in French Roy RIO. Facebook at Tunde Arigbon. My name is spelled TUNDE. That's TUNDE, and my last name is spelled ARIGBON, and that's Tunde Arigbon. Tunde Arigbon on Instagram and Facebook. I just opened my Skype, so you can hit me on Skype. I have Snapchat. I don't usually use Twitter, but you can hit me up on Twitter. But mostly you can contact me on Instagram and Facebook for the most part.
Right on. And if you want to catch all 3 seconds of that knockout, I know you posted that up there, so you make sure give them a follow.
Yeah, definitely. We're trying to hit 1,000 views, man. I'm almost there, so that's definitely a good one.
Well, definitely. I know I saw it probably about 50 times, so. I appreciate your time, Tunde.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I appreciate it if everyone's, watching. Go ahead and give it a thumbs up. I know you like it. Just hit subscribe if you're not already. And the undefeated Tunde Arigbon. I appreciate your time.
Thank you. You may see more of me in the future. Shout out to AMT. Shout out to Portland Thai Boxing, Wavy Boy, Finesse, Influential Grooming, Geno's Spice, Superfab, all my friends and family who's been supporting me, Team Arigbon. If I'm forgetting anybody, don't worry. This is only the first interview. We'll have more. Hopefully, I get to see Nick soon. Thanks a lot for having me on here. Next fight, hopefully, is September. So hopefully, I get in contact with you before then. But if not, just keep following me on social media, and I'll keep following you as well. Thank you.
You're the man today.
Appreciate it.